So I've been catching up with the TV show do have a lot of problems with its fans though. Invincible fans, I need you to stop talking about Amber. You have to let her go. In a recent episode, Amber showed up, and so I've been seeing a lot of Invincible TikToks about how Amber sucks again. And this is more than just Amber. Invincible seems to have like a deeply sexist fan base. There's some stuff that happens with Eve later on. She gains weight, and the fandom has not recovered from that. Another part is there's a sexual assault that will come up later. I'm not sure how much later, but it will come up later. And there are fans that have been defending the assault and the assaulter since it happened because they found the person that committed the assault very attractive. And we're beginning to see the inklings of the TV fandom becoming much like the comic book fandom in this way, especially centered around Amber. Now, for those of you who don't know, in season 1, Amber and Mark, they end up together in the first season. They break up very, very briefly at the very end of the first season, get back together, and they break up for good in season 2. Everybody fucking hates Amber for it. So Amber haters tend to point to this one moment, and it's at the end of season 1.
You're right. I've been an asshole, and I'm sorry I didn't realize that sooner. But that all stops today. Amber. Whoa, here we go. Amber, I'm in...
Where Mark reveals that he's invincible, and she says,
It's okay. This is why I'm always late, or why I don't show. Because I'm off saving lives, or stopping some bad guys, or going to Mars. I wanted to tell you so many times. Did you hear what I just said?
I know.
Ugh, I know you're a superhero.
You know? You know?
The fandom could not fathom why she was pissed at him. He's like, oh, well, you know he's a superhero, so you know exactly what he's doing. But I feel like people that watch that scene have no idea what has occurred, like thematically what's happening, and they don't understand character-wise what's happening. So thematically, the first season is all about lies, the lies you tell your family members and how it like hurts people. We see this centered around Omni-Man, who has been lying to his family this entire time, and you'll see in subsequent seasons where Invincible has a problem lying to people he loves. He has a problem lying to Eve about her future self, which everybody was like, hey, you don't have to tell her that. You see him being a lot more open about who he is and what he is, especially to the people he cares about, because of what his father did to him. Now, a major theme in season 1 was, is Mark going to end up like his genocidal father? And the answer was no, obviously. But in part of that was Mark falling into the same traps that his father did and lying. Now, his lies weren't exactly as bad as Omni-Man's, because his lies was telling his high school girlfriend, I'm not a superhero. So definitely not on the same level, but that is where his mind is at. Like, oh, I'm going to be like him. You see him do this again, like whenever he kills somebody that's like actively attacking him or his family, or like there's no other way but to kill somebody.
This is over! How much I've been holding back! But anyone ever!
He feels that same thing, like, oh fuck, am I going to turn into my dad just because I killed this guy? And that's why he's more truthful now. So Amber is meant to illustrate this point. He has been lying to her for 6 months, and he's honestly telling the dumbest fucking lies imaginable to try and get her to believe that he's not a superhero. So a lot of people that hate Amber, when they point to that scene where Invincible reveals that he is invincible.
Ugh, I know you're a superhero.
You know? You know?
I'm not an idiot. I figured it out weeks ago.
Then why are we fighting?
We're fighting because you lied to me.
Well, he's using that as a get out of jail free card. He's not really telling the truth. He's like, well, I'm in trouble. This'll wipe the debt. And she understands that. A big part of her character is that she's very intelligent and more mature for her age. But she's not 100% mature, and I'll get to that. She's been lied to for 6 months straight, and she knows that she's being lied to.
You made me feel stupid and unimportant.
It's a secret identity.
And because you don't trust me.
I'm trusting you now.
Oh my god. I mean, it's cute you think that's enough.
But, Amber.
Fly away, fly boy. Or take the stairs. I really don't give a shit.
Mark is putting himself into danger every day, and she kind of knows that. She doesn't fully understand that, and we'll get to that later again. She's not 100% mature. But Mark, immediately before this, the fight that started it was when they go to visit a college. He goes to visit with her, thinking that, like, hey, I can get closer to her. And then he starts telling her that I want to take this more seriously. I want our relationship to be more serious. Ditches her, becomes a superhero. And then immediately after, he doesn't really ditch her. You guys are going to get mad at me for that. He leaves, he comes back as a superhero right in front of her. And then, like, when like, his best friend finds out at that moment, but he still doesn't tell her, and she's sitting there like, what the fuck? You just told me that we were going to take this more seriously, and yet here you are right in front of my face lying to me, treating me like I'm a fucking idiot. And again, a lot of Mark's lies were fucking stupid. They're very demeaning, they're very condescending, especially to someone that intelligent. So a lot of people focus on Amber as being a bad character and being a symptom of bad writing, but it's really a very nuanced writing decision to have all this play out the way it did. And it's a shame that nobody recognizes it for, like, this just laser focus on her. Part of it is that she is an intelligent black woman. If a character like that grates against the main character in any way, like treats the main character poorly in any way, fanboys are going to hate. You will see this later when something with Eve occurs. Now, all of this isn't to say that Mark is 100% in the wrong and Amber is 100% in the right. No, they're still teenagers and they still make a lot of mistakes, including Amber. What I'm going to give the Amber haters is that Amber fucked up. The reason she fucks up, one, by not being honest with him about this, like, hey, like giving him opportunities to prove himself correct. She's kind of just hanging back and hoping he'll say something. She doesn't really go like, hey, anything you want to tell me, like any of that, like, no. And it might not 100% be her responsibility to do that anyway. The fact of the matter is that she knew all this stuff about Mark and decided not to say anything. Another aspect of it is she takes Mark back, which is a mistake. And like I said, she does not completely understand the superhero thing. She understands superheroes, she understands the main concept. But if you watch season 1, Mark doesn't understand either. So he's going in like guns blazing, like Oliver is right now. Like Oliver is subverting both like his mom's authority and his by going into these fights he has no business being a part of and just like absolutely either wrecking shop or getting wrecked. That was Mark in the first season. He didn't quite understand what it was to be a hero. That's why like the second episode was so important, where he's trying to save this old lady, and like him doing that like kind of destroyed her body because he doesn't understand like the physics of superheroing. He doesn't understand the danger of superheroing. And that's kind of Amber. Like Amber's shown to be like this very intelligent woman, but she's not really, she has like some worldly experience, but not that much. So again, the idea isn't that Mark was 100% in the wrong and Amber was 100% in the right. It's that Mark mistreated Amber their entire relationship, and she reacted kind of poorly in an inexperienced way.
I'm not doing this anymore. I've been down this road before, and once was enough.
Hold on.
Why?
Because I'm,
You're what?
So there's the amount of hate she's gotten is just so fucking annoying. Like whenever you see reading those TikToks, and it's always like a female character, except for Anissa, and that is crazy. All these female characters are getting shit talked on like Invincible TikTok, and it's fucking infuriating. Please just shut the fuck up about Amber. It's fine. They're not dating anymore. Stop freaking out about her. And then she takes Mark back without fully realizing the risk. Like she just watched Mark almost get killed by his own father on TV.
Please.
Where millions of people died, and she runs back to him and didn't expect any of that to come back on her.
Come with me now, or this woman dies. Did you hear me?
Mark?
These are teenagers. They're not adults. They're not really that knowledgeable or experienced. She has a lot of knowledge, but she doesn't quite understand what's happening. This is why the recent episodes between Mark and Eve are a lot more satisfying relationship wise, because you could tell like things were barely holding on with Amber and Mark, but with Eve and Mark, like they understand each other a lot more. And that's a big thing. Amber was never meant to be like the final girl. Never. They were very clearly setting up Eve at the very beginning for Mark to get with. Amber was always meant to be like that stopgap, like this relationship you have before you move on to like something more intelligent. That's why you date as a teenager. Because think about how many fucking high school sweethearts are still together, and if they are, it's like they cheated a lot on each other in their 20s and their 30s, and then in their 40s they ended up like being chill. And they were high school sweethearts. All right, I'm Seth Photopoulous, editor-in-chief of Forbidden Origins Comics, and this was a video for Origination Media. We're doing a giveaway right now, so once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to give away all 4 books we have, and that's The Old Universe, The Old Universe Book 2, Echoes of the Old Universe, and my comic, These Lies End in Death. So again, please subscribe, like, and once we hit 1,000K, we'll give away all 4 of those books. All right, bye.